Hello. Hello. Welcome to VO Journey Academy Live. That's a lot of words,
It's a lot of words. It's okay.
but it works.
It does.
My name is Anthony,
I'm Gabby.
and we are voice
We
actors.
sure are. We sure are. I'm slowly working my way back to my regular digs
That's
for
so nice.
filming. Yeah,
It's
I'm at
so
least
good to
back in
see
the
you. I
office.
know. I was just saying you're not quite back fully
No, because
into
I'm
the studio,
still
but
I'm
you're
still in a
working your way in.
cast. I'm still in a cast, so I can't
Right.
mobility is I have my little wheelie cart behind me. This is how I get around right now, my little knee scooter.
Exactly. I love it. Oh, you do? You have one of those
Yeah,
little
I have a knee
That's
scooter.
great.
Yeah, because I can't. Yeah,
Oh, the
it's
knee
that or crutches
scooter.
right now.
I always thought the knee scooters were kind of cool.
They're fun.
I don't
They're
know
fun.
why.
I can get up a good velocity. I've learned to chicane the corners of the house. It's fun. It's fun.
Uh, Well,
Anywho,
if you are just joining us for the first time or you're brand new, we'd love for you to hit that like and subscribe button for
please
us.
do.
Hit that bell notification so we go live. Although we're pretty, we go live every day except Tuesdays at
Except
noon,
Tuesday. Yeah,
12 Eastern.
that's true. That's true.
So, but still,
Oh,
it still helps.
yeah, it does. It does.
So it is February 2nd, which
It's
is
Groundhog's Day.
wild. It is Groundhog's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Will the groundhog see its shadow
Listen,
or not?
listen. That little booger better get it right because man,
I don't know.
I got a
I got a feeling it's not going because
I have a foot of snow on the
That's
ground
what I'm saying. We've
outside
been
right
getting
now.
a lot of weather.
This is insane for here. This nuts. Charlotte doesn't get snow and I mean the powdery stuff. I'm so pissed that I can't go outside and play in it. That's my only
Oh yeah.
gripe right now is that I should
Yeah.
be outside making a
That's
snowman.
the fun part about snow.
I know. Anyway.
Well, anyways, all that jazz is to say that we are full force into 2026.
We sure are.
We had an incredible question last week.
That's right. I think it was from Joy. I'm pretty sure it was a Joy question.
Yeah, it was about marketing on TikTok.
Yes.
And how to market
on TikTok. Yeah.
Yes. And I think this is such a great question on so many levels because I know we talk to a lot of voice actors and a lot of us are nervous about getting on on TikTok in general. Oh wait, Phil did see his shadow, but in the last 10 years he's been right only 30% of the time.
Maybe Phil needs to be taken out to pasture. Maybe we need to know.
Just saying. Peter's gonna be on us. He's gonna Gabby's after the groundhogs. All right. Anyways, yeah. So
yes. TikTok.
Sorry, TikTok. Get it back at TikTok. Although actually I was just thinking about they could be a menace. Like in my yard, like they're a menace, especially with the holes and the horses. But the horses go after them. But you got to worry about like them sticks like in a hole. We've got this big hole one who just bumps around and he's like he acts like he owns the place. But I think we saw him moving out the other day because he was like going that way towards the because I think he's mad that all the horses are in the because the horses are they're not for it. That and birds, they're really like it's pretty crazy. Like if the bird gets in there, they go after the bird. They're like, get out of our area. They're like,
I didn't know horses were so territorial.
Well, I think they just get bothered by like the animals being in there. You know what I mean? Because they, especially carnivores, or now I think the groundhog, it's more dangerous for them.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? Because if they step in a hole, they break their.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Anyways, maybe we should stop harassing Phil. Let him live his life. Oh my goodness. So, TikTok.
Yeah.
TikTok. I think it's first to say that social media in general. The first part of this is I never until 2017 when I started my business, I was not on social media at all. And I was one of those people who's like, I just don't, social media is not for me.
Yeah.
I'm not into it. And I'm not saying that it would be that way today if I hadn't started this business, but I know starting my voiceover business that led me into realizing that, we are communicators,
Yeah.
and social media is, honestly one of the primary places where we all communicate now.
It's true. It's an extension of that. So we
So,
can't ignore it.
right. So being there is super important for our business. On top of that, a lot of the work we do, I would say the majority of all the work we do goes on social media in some form or some
Mm-hmm.
way.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's extremely important that we are actively promoting ourselves in some way or some form on social media. So I just think that right off the bat, that's if you're not there yet, that's okay.
Yeah.
But you should, for 2026, honestly consider it.
It for sure. For sure. And I think that, TikTok, not only has it become, one of the major social media outlets, it has kind of changed the game.
Mm,
TikTok's algorithm in particular, with making videos shorter, more streamlined, I think it's affected every platform, because prior to that, like, shorts weren't really a thing. Now they're kind of everywhere. And
and what's
obviously
oh yeah, go ahead.
the younger generation is gravitating toward it. I mean, they love
So have
TikTok is
you
where they live.
Okay, so the big thing, I've been watching it because and now actors and everyone's going crazy over it because we've all been bombarded. So if you're on TikTok, I'm talking about it's the short soap operas. The short you know what I'm
Mm,
talking about?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
They're,
yeah.
like, everywhere, and
Yeah.
they're horrible writing, right? It's like and you're like, "Why,
Yeah.
for God's sakes, do I have
Yeah,
to" but they're super popular
they
still, like, you
are.
can't help but like, there's this one, it's my guilty pleasure. I can't stand the writing or acting, but the whole storyline is very interesting,
Mhm.
right? I mean, because I love wizards and I love magic and stuff like that, so it's like that kinda silly stuff. But anyways, the point is it's interesting, and they did not spare expense on the set, the costumes, and a lot of those
No.
roles pay very well. What I'm trying
Yes.
to say is entertainment changes, and I saw a lot of interviews with actors talking about how they're it pays it pays better than a lot of Hollywood stuff and a lot of things like that. And they
Hmm.
pay very high rates.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and because it's not traditional, because it's not like the traditional studios haven't gone on to it yet. So through a
Right.
lot of other things, but they're going to, because there's a lot of money to be made there. Um, I
Yeah, that's
because
true.
you have to go to basically you go to the website and you have to subscribe, and it's an insane cost. Like it's like 14.99 a week, or in summer like a day, like it's per show. It's pretty nuts, and people are paying it. So like, it's like silly stuff, like my billionaire's, cousin, like so like, like it's crazy,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
the generic, but it's there. Point I'm trying to make to you is that it's growing to now become even something greater than it is, right? And we have full access to it. So I think part
Yeah.
of the thing is you probably remember when we were before really social media, the only way you could market to masses was you had to go through radio or TV,
Yeah.
right? You do something like that. I guess you could do print, but
Print.
but, but,
Yeah.
but pretty much radio and TV,
Yeah.
and there was a lot of gatekeeping, and expense was super ridiculously high.
Crazy
So
high.
a lot of people could do that, right? And he agrees, she agrees. So I think social media has changed that completely. I mean, yes, it is kind of gotten higher in some senses, but being able to market yourself, communicate with people, and get yourself out there, especially on TikTok, because it has grown far beyond, I think, a lot of the other platforms have them on time, is a good place to be. Let's talk about Gabby. I know that the dog's supposed to be barking on it. Let's talk about what are some things, because you do a lot of social media marketing as well. What are some
Mhm.
things, just in general, some good practices when you're starting off as trying to get into marketing yourself on social media?
I think that you want to think about a sort of theme. And I don't mean that in a strict sense that it can't be changed, but themes are little maybe subsets, right, of how you brand and market yourself. So topics, things of interest, something you like that kind of becomes a recurring thread throughout your posts. And it doesn't, again, this doesn't have to be about voiceover. It's just ways to be more relatable and to attract an even broader audience. And it can be anything. Observations are big on these platforms, especially if the conclusion is funny. You know, people love that. So you want to not shy away from having those sorts of moments if you can. And oh gosh, what else? I think, you know, something that we've found that's really funny with a lot of this content is that people are really forgiving with video. Like your video can be kind of crappy, but if your audio is bad, people run away, which is really kind of wild, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. Now there's voice actors who are already doing a bunch of stuff on there. So one of the things is one thing that a lot of voice actors are doing are reading live from their studio.
Yeah.
And typically a lot of it is audiobooks, or I've been seeing more doing character work, making up their own stuff and doing it. Putting together, now this is not new, it's just a new way of delivering it, putting together their own samples for businesses and companies and sharing those ideas online, live, etc., while tagging those companies. You know what I mean? And seeing, I mean, there was that and just so you understand how huge this is. Did you also that story about the Dr. Pepper girl? You did?
I don't know.
So anyways, there's this young woman, and I guess she woke up in the morning, she got up and she just recorded herself doing this jingle for Dr. Pepper, right? Like it's Dr. Pepper, and they literally, it went so viral. Dr. Pepper took it, they played it in the Rose Bowl, I believe, right? And now there's been differing I guess stories on how much they paid her and everything, but they've now turned that into a full-fledged commercial of her doing stuff. And the point I'm trying to make about that is just like, this is the type of world we live in now, where you creating something, okay, yourself, and creating something. And you've talked about, it's funny because you've talked about this a lot, Gabby, in the past. I know we've talked about it too, about this, the different landscape of the way we market and advertise ourselves nowadays. It's different. Like, I think when we grew up, and took me a long time to get over this or get past this, is the commercial. Like the commercial was ingrained in us, right? Like when you go to sell something, you do a commercial.
Yeah.
Right. That's how you sell something. And the rest, everything else is not. It's just you're there to entertain, like, through the show.
Yep.
But that's changed
a lot,
right?
A lot.
Talk about that, Gabby.
I think the commercial is just more unassuming, you know, like nobody really knows. There doesn't have to be such a strict boundary anymore. Technically, God, I would venture to say at least 60% of what we're exposed to on social media is, in fact, some kind of commercial. All of the seemingly, right, what do you want to call them, like the testimonial, right, the unboxings, the people trying products, they're all meant to seem very, very casual, but they're commercials, you know.
Exactly. So it's just we're the different way of looking at things that was, when we were young, was not that way.
It's tapping into the power of suggestion, and it's tapping into how consumers trust other consumers that have experience with a product and that come across very unassuming, right? When it's not an overt sell, and instead it's somebody going, hey, you should really try this or do this because I did and it made a huge difference for me. That establishes that credibility. They're so desperate for.
Mm.
The other thing is people love to be looky-loos, right?
Mhm.
People love to be a bit voyeuristic. They love to see what they're not supposed to see, or this idea of what they're not supposed to see, the behind the scenes.
Right.
So many of these things, like the makeup tutorials and the how-to videos, that's really what we're being exposed to, is this idea of a behind the scenes process. And
Mm.
it's even where companies are capitalizing on that with celebrities too, with this idea of, again, a phony sort of behind the scenes look, because everybody is so much more accessible than they used to be. And social media is a big part of that, about making celebrities and fandoms something that's more everyday and not so unattainable, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think that it's it also serves as a great way to, I think, validate what you're doing or what you're trying to do in voiceover. I
Yeah.
mean, so much as has we keep saying that so much has changed, but I think a lot of times, the old things, and I'm not saying you still need a website, you still need to do these things, of course.
Right.
But if there's nothing of you online,
Mm-hmm.
and especially in the main places where people do research and people
Oh
go
yeah.
look. And I can't tell you how much I think if I go to someone's social and like the last time they posted was 6 months ago, I think something's really wrong with them.
Right. Right.
Like something's happened, they've quit, like, you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
kind of crazy when you actually think about it. Well, that's silly to think that, but that's what we think.
It
So
is.
we're like, well, they're not really in it to win it. I mean, that's kind of subconsciously how it makes us feel.
Definitely.
So that is for us, it's the same thing. I mean, so we have to consider that
Agreed.
is an aspect of. Now, here's an interesting question. It just popped into my mind because I think this is recently, or it's not recently, but I think voice actors love LinkedIn. I mean, voice actors, like, they
Yeah.
are all in on LinkedIn. And I feel like the
Yeah.
question I pose to you is where would you, I'm going to ask you, where would you, if you could only pick one, would you be on LinkedIn or would you be on TikTok? I know right away what I'd pick, but what would you pick?
Oof. Oh man.
I think most
would
voice actors only
say,
want to do one, right? They only want to do one social media.
well, this is a hard one. I'm gonna say for me it would probably be TikTok. Yeah.
I'm TikTok 100%.
Okay.
I'm TikTok 100%. I'm gonna tell
Interesting.
you why. I'll tell you why for a couple reasons. One, I think LinkedIn is great. It was great. I'm not saying it still isn't great, but I think that like every time I have any voice actor, I know anybody, I mean, all the other voice actors love you on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
All the other voice actors love you on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is really good at connecting you with people who are just like you.
Yes.
Especially in your industry.
Yes.
So that's great if your whole goal is to reach other people just like you.
Right. Right.
TikTok's algorithm, the reason why it got so popular, right, was because what it does is it automatically shows you to a certain amount of people, and it's a point system, and they released this actually. And it was really cool. It's like you get 1 point for every 25 likes, you get 2 points for a comment, you get 3 points, and basically how much points determine how many more people they show your work to. Right. And it's so that was really cool that they had released that. And then secondly, you have such a wide range of options on TikTok, right? That you're not stuck. Now, that doesn't mean the algorithm won't show you like-minded people and what they're doing, but I found that the reach is absolutely incredible when you get something that people are enjoying. TikTok continues to show it to more and more people, more and more I guess spin-offs or different kind of
you can reach a diverser audience.
Yes.
For sure. for
Yes.
sure. And that's critical for anyone who's marketing anything. LinkedIn, I think, to be an effective tool for voice actors, we have to do a lot of work. We have to do a lot of mining and a lot of searching and a lot of really working very intricately with the platform. And it can be beneficial and it can lead to some good connections. But for me, I see LinkedIn a little bit more as like a research tool
Yes.
of how to look at a prospective client or look at a company and find out
Oh, I
more about them.
totally agree. I will go to LinkedIn before anywhere else if I'm trying to research a person in an industry. I'm trying to validate whether they are like actual professional at industry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who a lot of times when they contact us, I'm kind of like, is this person legit? And I go look them
Yeah.
up, and if you
Yeah.
can't find, because you can't always find a particular individual on a larger company's website,
Right.
right? But a lot of times, you can find them on LinkedIn, and
Mhm.
I've been able to sniff out a lot of bad situations too because of
Yeah.
that. So I will agree, but I've had I just don't have a lot of luck much anymore because on LinkedIn, because the reality is every time I go to LinkedIn, I have 10, 15 messages in my inbox from marketers and from people, marketing stuff,
Yeah.
and they don't even know my business. I told you what happened the other day. I felt so bad. I told you that, right? I did. Didn't I?
Yeah.
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 Well, I messaged him back. I messaged him back because he messaged me, said, "Oh, I didn't know you didn't do voiceover." And I
Mm.
was like, I'm just messing with you, man. I was like, because I felt bad. I didn't want to string on this dude because
Right.
because he had looked me up. And he said, "Well, it's strange because you seem to have quite a influence on social media. I don't understand." I was like, I'm just messing with you, but I feel like that because we people blanketly start market on there now,
Yeah.
as opposed to and people don't like the entertainment
Yeah.
stuff
Right.
on
Right.
LinkedIn. It's just not there. So
No.
it limits a good portion of what we can do.
It does. And it's hard. It's hard to gain an audience or gain a following if you're not offering anything of entertainment or educational value. And because LinkedIn, right, it's so heavy on promote, promote, promote. How do you do that successfully? It's hard to weave, it's a really hard thing to balance for most people. It's not impossible, but challenging.
I love this. I love this thing right here because it's so Dylan. I've seen the
Yes.
same dude too,
Yeah.
and it's probably because what's happened is he's done it 22 days in a row, which goes back to consistency.
Right.
Platform pushes it, so clearly he's good. But it's funny because Dylan's like he's already giving advice to voice actors about stuff, and he's only
Yeah.
in the number
22 days
22
in.
days.
Yeah.
I mean, and the crazy thing is there'll be a lot of people who are like, that's the guy. And there's no offense to him because I think I've come across and like, oh, that's cool. Because a lot of what I did with VO Journey podcast
Yeah.
was documenting my journey. But at that time, I had already been doing it for about 2 years.
But I think again that speaks to that behind the scenes component. It also speaks to people. So a lot of the social media content, I think people seek it out. They seek out what's funny. They seek out what's interesting, right? They seek out the things that are just kind of going to give them a little serotonin boost throughout the day or a little dopamine hit. But also, they love to watch people transform. They love to watch the evolution of somebody doing something or achieving something. So, any career path, be it ours or another, that allows you to show that is really quite marvelous.
I agree. And I would mention though, because it's funny, Dylan said someone told him his career is half a PFH old. That's funny. I don't want to rag on this particular gentleman.
No.
I think what it brings up a good point though to make is that one thing that you do have to have, and please, you have to have a thick skin. Because Gabby and
Oh my God, I've dealt with so many trolls.
there's been so many times where, and of
Boy.
course we put ourselves out in a different capacity as coaches, but still there's going to be people who just, I don't know. People do feel empowered, I think, to say whatever
Yeah.
they like on social media
Yeah.
and just let it go. Like, don't
Yeah.
let that bother you. That should not be because we all go through it.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. And we can talk more about that, on Wednesday, I think.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Well, listen, thank you so much. So I think the whole point of this thing is that, there are good things, there are bad things about any platform you're on. But I mean, TikTok, I think right now is just, you got it. You really should be there.
Yeah.
You really should be there, and you
Yeah.
should be putting yourself out there, and building that community.
Agreed.
So, well, thank you guys for watching. We
Yeah.
appreciate it. Tomorrow, of course, is Angela. So
Mhm.
Angela's tomorrow. We'll be back on Wednesday.
And
of course,
tonight,
check
I've
out-
got class.
Yes, tonight is back. We have our new calendar out for February for
Yeah.
Journey Academy. So
Mhm.
if you're interested, Gabby is back on live tonight, which will be exciting. And and then we're good to go. So check us out there. We're offering 50% off the first month
Ooh.
to try us out. And we will see you all Wednesday. Right? Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye. Goodbye.